You're going to lie all the way flat unless you prefer to be on the bolster like me. Or you want to have your belt near you. And just lie back onto your mat. And your palms open into Shavasana. And let's take a nice deep breath here. Inhale. And exhale through the mouth. Continue deep breathing. And just breathe in a way that promotes calmness and peaceful energy in the mind and body. Especially if you've just rushed home to do your yoga, make sure you give yourself some time to settle down. Good. Now just step the soles of your feet together, knees drop apart. Grab your belt here, maybe shoulder width or wider, and several times just reach your arms overhead. One more. Good. Now slide your hands together on the belt. Raise that belt up so it's hovering over your chest. And now with your right hand, pull on the belt so it draws your left arm across. Now tip, if you're flexible, you don't need to do it that way. You could make a hook with your right arm and pull your left arm across. The important thing is that your left elbow is straight. Otherwise, you're not really getting that much stretch. Good. Switch, right arm totally straight. Reach that arm across your chest. Left arm as a hook pulls it in more. Good. Unwind and while we're here, you can still have the soles of your feet touching if you want. Do a few snow angels with your arms. Soft elbows here. Trying to coordinate the breathing and the moving. Two more. Great. All right, so that's our shoulder warm up. Now bend your right knee into your chest. You draw it all the way to the right shoulder. All right, let's go ahead and grab our belt, put it around the right foot, and extend that leg up to the ceiling. Work on your hamstrings here. So before you pull the leg too far in, try to get the knee somewhat straight. Flex your foot, maybe come in and out of a full flexion of the foot and then letting go a little, just to work your calf. All while we take deep belly breaths. Good. Now grab the belt with your right hand and lower the leg all the way to the right. You can go all the way over if you want. Good. Come back and then draw the leg all the way across to the left. Or like I do, keep the leg extremely straight here, flexed foot, and just draw that leg across the body by maybe like a foot or so, and rotate the outer right hip forward. So you see how I'm hooking my right hand into the hip, and I'm pulling that hip away like I'm separating it. That should get nicely into your IT band. So either way, go across the way you want and take 3 more breaths. Good. After 3, just lower that leg down. Take a breath. And now let's bend your left knee in toward your left shoulder. All right, grabbing your belt now, put it around the foot and extend that leg up. And again, slowly work toward a straight knee and a flexed foot, flexing and pointing slightly toward the calf if you want. All right, take the belt into your left hand and lower the leg all the way over to the left. Notice the rhythm of your breathing. Bring that leg up and draw it partially or all the way across to the right. Breathe into tension and tightness. Allow it to open up. One more to unwind. Great. Come back to center and lower that leg down. Now, still lying on the floor, stretch your arms out to the sides, step your feet on the mat, pretty wide apart. Let's get into the hips a little. Let's windshield wiper the knees side to side. Make sure they fall all the way, best as you can. We're getting to the inner and the outer hip capsules. Good. You can hover on one side. Let's say you drop both legs to the right and then cross the right leg on top of the left thigh. You could do that. Just hover and breathe. Let gravity do the work. And let's do the second side now, either crossing over or just breathe. Great. Let's come back to center. Bend both knees deeply into your chest, rock side to side. And let's roll over to one side and come up to seated position. Let's cross right ankle in front of left. Place your hands onto your knees, see if you can flex your feet here, and let's rotate the torso. Feel like you're leading with your chest. Reverse. Good. And back to the center. Shoulders roll out and down. Teeth together. Lift your chin to the ceiling. And slowly on the exhale, draw your chin down to the throat. And one more time. Good. Neutral head and neck. And let's take it into a twist. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind you. Look way over the right shoulder and take 3 deep breaths. As an alternative, instead of taking the right hand behind you, you could wrap your right arm all the way around your waist and try to grab your pants or whatever you can on the left side. Good. Unwind. We'll go to the other side before we twist left. So let's inhale, sweep the arms up first, and exhale, fold all the way forward. Now addressing our low back, our hips. As you probably know, if you're watching this later, I am modifying because of my pregnancy. So just listen to how I describe the poses and please follow that unless you're also modifying. Good. On an inhalation, let's sweep the arms up again and float them out and down. Extend your right leg out to the right. Bend your knee. This is about your whole back. So I want you to sweep your arms up and clasp your hands into like a little basket. Good. So arms up. On an exhale, imagine someone's pulling your front ribs in. So tuck your chin, get really round in your upper back and lower that forehead all the way down to the right knee. And hook your hands around the right foot. If that's not reachable, take your hands to the ankle, but you should feel if you're rounding your upper back and draw your core in, you should feel that nice stretch in the upper mid-back. I usually also feel this in the low back, so depending how tight you are, take a couple more. Good. Come up and release your hands down. All right, so let's do this very pose on the other side. Right foot in, left knee up, left leg up, knee bent. Make that basket with your hands. Inhale, ribs in, round and curve down. Good, inhale, reach back up. Release the hands out and down and come to cross-legged. This time, left shin in front of right, flex your feet. Here we'll now go into the twist. Right hand on left knee, left hand wrapped around you or behind you, and twist your chest to the left. Think of unwinding. So right now you're stretching your liver on the right side. Think of even the deeper aspects of your yoga, not just the muscles you feel, but there's a lot more going on. Every gland, every vessel is being stretched as well. One more breath. Good, unwind. So from here, I'd like you to stay in this cross-legged position and clasp your hands behind your head. And turn a little bit to the left with your chest and lower the right elbow down toward your right knee. Maybe they're touching. The idea is to really lift that left armpit up, get a huge side stretch. If this is too extreme, right hand is simply on the floor. Come back to center. Turn your chest a little to the right and slowly lower with an exhale your left elbow towards your left knee. Or if you want to modify, left hand on the floor, but let's lift that right outer armpit up. Good, come back up. Inhale, reach up. Interlock your hands, turn your wrist inside out and just sway side to side a few times. Good, pause at the center, separate the hands, inhale. And fold forward once more. Now in this forward fold, walk your hands all the way to the right. Get a side body stretch, even lower down to the ribs and the waist. Walk your hands over to the left. All right, back to center and up we come. Let's move on to all fours here. So a lot of what's following is going to be verbal instruction. So just please pay attention. Take your hands right under the shoulders, hip width, shoulder width or wider, and let's begin to arch and round. Arch as you inhale, press the belly down, lift your chin. Exhale, round the upper back, tuck your chin and tailbone. Two more. And one. Good. Neutral spine, brace your core. Right leg goes back, left arm forward. Five times, pull knee and elbow in on the exhale. So let's bring it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and release back to all fours. Left leg back, right arm forward. Get your balance. And to prepare, inhale, exhale, bend your knee and elbow in toward each other. 1. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Very good. Release back to all fours. Tuck your toes gently and sit back to your heels. Make gentle fists and rotate those fists. Good. Pat it out. And we're going to go into downward dog. So tuck your toes and go into your downward facing dog. Pedal it out, but very slowly. Press the right heel down, bend your left knee. Maybe let the left hip sink quite a bit. And then do the same on the other side. Go back and forth one more time. Good, and now from your down dog, walk your feet forward to the hands and hang out in a forward bend for a moment. So maybe you're more in the heels at this moment. Maybe your knees are bent. Just feel like you want to really hinge into the hip creases versus just rounding your back and keeping your hamstrings stiff. Just melt into your next exhale here. Good, and come rolling up to standing. Take your hands together in front of your mat. So we're going to do a sun salutation here, mountain pose. Stand up tall, shoulder blades drop down the back. Front ribs soft. On an inhalation, sweep the arms out and up. Maybe stretch back a little. Exhale, fold forward and down. So we're back in that forward bend. Now fingertips stay on the floor. Step your right foot back and come into a low lunge. So right foot way back, lower the right knee to the floor. Hands are still on the ground, and you can just have the fingertips down. But let's sink the pelvis down and forward. So you have that right leg long and low to the ground. One more breath. So as your fingertips are on the floor, lift your chin. This is good for our upper back and neck muscles. We look forward so much. Now look down at the mat and step yourself back into a plank position. Plank pose. If that's too much today, you're going to be on all fours. Otherwise, scoop your belly, squeeze your glutes and legs a little, and be in your plank for one more breath. Good. Now lower the knees and on an exhale, gently elbows point back, Lower all the way flat to the belly. Legs are close together, hands to the sides of your chest. Good. Make sure your pelvis doesn't bubble up. So press your upper thighs into the floor. And on an inhale, just feel your head and chest up for cobra. No weight on the hands. Or if you want to do the one with just a little bit on the hands, but your navel is on the floor here. Good. From cobra, look back down. Press up to all fours and go into downward dog or child's pose. Downward or child's, take 2 more breaths. Now you can be on all fours or down dog, but try to stretch your right leg back and up behind you. Even if your hips open, that's fine. And step the right foot forward between your hands. That's okay if you have to kind of lower the back knee down and do this in steps. Back to that low lunge. So your right foot is forward, you're on your fingertips, the left knee behind you is on the ground, and your pelvis sinks down and forward. Lift your chin, breathe. Soften the chest. Good, look down. Let's tuck the back toes and inhale. And exhale, take a giant step forward and fold in again at the top of your mat. Take 1 more cycle of breath. Good, press the floor away with your feet and legs. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Hands to heart center, exhale. We'll do 1 more round with the left side. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive down. Take 1 breath in, forward bend. You're standing, forward bend. Good, this time step your left foot back, way back. Hands are on the floor, but your back knee is not dropping. So you're in that runner's lunge. And on an inhale, take your right arm to the ceiling. Turn your chest up. 2 breaths. Left front hip light. Good. Both hands on the floor. Step back to a plank position. Again, be on all fours if you need. 1 more breath in plank. Drawing that corset into the midline. Good. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, and hips and everything down, flat to the ground. Separate your feet a little this time. Hands going probably farther back and press to upward facing dog. Breathe into the chest. Core is engaged. Legs are reaching back with your knees maybe even off the ground. 1 more breath in. And exhale. Good, tuck your toes and let's go back to down dog or child's pose once more. From your child's pose, come to all fours or you're in down dog. Left leg sweeps up behind you. Big inhale. On the exhale, step that left foot forward. You're in that long lunge. The right knee, the back knee is off the floor. And now let's twist it. Lift your left arm to the ceiling. Really pluck that left shoulder blade into the back. 1 more inhale here. And exhale, both hands to the floor, framing that front foot. Take another breath in here. And step forward on your exhale. We're back to that forward bend. Maybe feet hip width or together. Your choice, and take another deep breath. Great. And inhale, swan dive reverse. Come all the way up to standing. Hands to the heart and rest. Good. So you can do the following, our prayer twist chair. You can do it by taking a block between your thighs, or you can just do it with your legs together. So set up your mountain pose with or without the block. Think of not rounding your butt under here. So now sit back to chair, thinking of just hinging back into your hip creases. Rotate your torso, meaning more so your chest, over to the right and hook your left elbow to the right thigh, palms together. Now, I want you to make sure, just scan your body. Are you really rounded right now? Can you pull your chest out? This is a hard pose because we have to sit back into that chair quite a bit. So it's a lot of lower body strength in order to get that long spine. Look over to the right or even to the ceiling on the right for one more breath. Good. Come back to chair. And on an exhale, prayer twist to your left. Hook the right tricep muscle to the left thigh, palms pressed together. And turn your head left, thinking of a long neck, which is, of course, part of our spine. One more breath, in and out. Good. Unwind and stand up to mountain pose. If you have to block, move it away at this point. Let the arms hang to your sides and take a 3 deep breath here. Great. Let's step open sideways. Take a long, long stance. So take up, depending on your height, take up most or all of your mat. Arms out, warrior two. Let's turn the right foot open and lunge into that right leg. Turn the gaze to the right hand. From the left inner thigh, so that's your back leg in warrior two right now. Good, now speaking of twisting, let's lay the right forearm across your right thigh and wrap your left arm around your low back again. Turn your gaze up. Maybe turn your chest up a little bit. If you want to take this deeper, go into the full bind around your right thigh. One more breath, strong body. Good. Release the bind and come back up to warrior two. Now keep your arms strong and lifted and move on to warrior two on the left leg. The right leg straightens, right heel turns back slightly as your left knee bends deeply right, stacked over the ankle. Turn your whole head left so you get that nice rotation in the neck again. Feel that upward energy. Tailbone is heavy. Imagine there's a 20-pound weight hanging on the tailbone. And now lay your left forearm across the left thigh. Right arm wraps around your low back behind you. So it rolls that shoulder back and gaze over the right shoulder. Firm your thigh muscles into the thigh bones. One more breath. Steady, calm attitude. Good. And press up to warrior two. Hands to your hips, straighten your legs. Turn your feet parallel so they face, the toes face the long side of the mat. Good. Now inhale, stretch your arms out like wings. Turn the palms to each other and clasp your hands behind you unless you have a shoulder issue. If you have really tight shoulders, grab a belt at this point. Inhale, stretch up and back. Exhale, fold forward. Dive down. The clasp, if it becomes way painful, then release your hands down to the floor. Notice how your weight is distributed across your feet. I want you to shift the weight into the center of the feet. Kind of like over the arches, right? Not trying to flatten your arches into the floor. Of course, the arches are lifting, but the weight is not just in our heels. Good, so everyone put your hands on the floor now. Turn your feet slightly out and lunge side to side a few times, just getting into those inner thighs. Good, come back to center, hands to the hips, maybe weight stays in the middle of your feet. Lift your chest out and long spine, inhale, come up to standing. Great, so now we will go, we're still in a standing wide-legged pose. We will go and grab our block, right? So grab your block, we'll go in from triangle into half moon pose. So with two straight legs, turn your right foot out, block is in the right hand, left heel out, right? So you're doing the standing. Arms out to the sides, reach the right, and on the exhale, lower the right hand to the shin, but you actually have your block, so you could just put the hand right on the block and be in your triangle pose. As you breathe and soften, imagine your feet and ankles are strong here, right? Draw your outer right hip toward the back heel. Good. Now you have two options. Go right into half moon if you know how, or come up first. What we all will do together, either wherever you are now, bend your right knee a little, lean your chest over to the right, walk the block forward, and you're going to, by leaning forward, you're going to pick up your back leg fairly easily in time. Maybe not the first time you do it, but this will become easier as your legs get yoga strong. Good, so you can open the arms up so they're kind of in line with each other, like we just did in triangle. Flex the back foot and press it into the air. Gaze can slowly turn up toward the ceiling or the left thumb, but don't put too much emphasis on what you're looking at. Feel your steadiness in your body. Good. If once you've done your pose, look down and slowly, gracefully, don't just dump into the back leg. With soft joints, come out into standing wide-legged with your feet parallel. Good. Grab the block with your left hand now. Let's go to triangle. Turn your left foot out, right heel slightly back. Arms out. Inhale, reach left, and lower that block to the floor, right arm to the sky, and breathe. If you can manage to look up, you're strengthening your neck and upper back more. This time, think of left sitting bone or outer hip drawing to the right heel behind you, just a tiny bit. Good, now look down, bend, either come up if you did that on side one, or bend your left knee a little. Lean the left, adjust forward, walk the block forward, and come to half moon pose. Use all the cues from the first side. Tip, the more rigid and strong you can make your body in this pose. A, the more muscles you use, and the B, the more steadiness you create. So we just kind of hang in our skeleton, that's not the same as engaging arms, legs, core. 2 more breaths. Turn the gaze up if you can. And laugh at yourself if you wobble and fell right now. That's fine. We're all learning. This is a journey. Some days it's great. We have access to our best balance, and other days not so much. Good. Look down and come back up. Very good. You can leave the block somewhere. Step your feet together. Rotate at the ankles. Take one more breath. Maybe your legs can already step into mountain pose. And let's do one more balance since we're standing here. Dancer pose. Stand on your right leg. Bend your left leg behind you and grab that ankle behind you with your left hand. Left hand grabs left ankle behind you. Now, if you want to face a wall and walk your right hand up that wall, that's an option. It really just is a left quad stretch and eventually a balance. However, if you want, make this a back bend too. So inhale, lift your chest. And now press your left foot against the left hand. Lean your torso forward and keep that left leg back fairly vigorously. So like a bow and arrow. Dancer pose is also called standing bow pose. There's a lot of tension in that bow, right? Push that foot back. Don't want knee pain or don't push the foot back. Turn your gaze up if you can, fully aware of that grounding leg. Good, release back to mountain pose. Take a breath. Set up other side. Body weight shifts over the left leg. Grab your right ankle behind you with your right hand. Left arm up. Good. Slowly inhale. You could lift your chest here. Lean your torso forward and kick your right foot against the right hand. So we talked about this last time. Your hips try to be somewhat square, but naturally your right hip will pop up a little, but don't, make sure you're not in like a half moon pose situation here. So your hips are much more square than when we purposely roll one hip over the other. Good. Come back to mountain pose. Pause. Take a breath. Great. That was it for standing. Let's step to the front of the mat. Just to take it to pigeon. Inhale, stretch all the way up and back. Maybe back bend. Exhale, fold forward. If you want to take a shortcut, step left foot back and go right to pigeon with your right leg. Otherwise, step to down dog and come to pigeon from there. Good. So once you're in pigeon, you can lower to your forearms or even your forehead is on the ground. Breathe. Ever so gently rock side to side if you wish. And the rocking would happen in your hips, right? For this, I can probably show, take a couple more breaths in your pigeon. Those of you who want to grab the left ankle behind you, bend that left leg, reach back with your left or right hand. Good, now let the left foot go, and here's the transition to cow face. If you don't want to do that, or you have another way to set it up, but here it goes. Press, so your right knee's bent in front of you. Press up, so you're on both your knees, and now slide your left knee forward, so it comes behind your right knee. And here's our cow face setup. Your feet move away from you as much as you can, kind of pivot them out from the midline, and carefully sit. I'm going to even put a block on the right leg. You can sit on the block or you can sit on the floor. Look down. You don't want both feet on the left side. So make sure your left foot is on the right side of you and your right foot is on your left hip side, right? Now, since we're in this cow face pose with the right knee on top, grab the belt buckle with your left hand. Bring that left arm up. Right arm under into the cow face arms. Those are all just options. So if you have shoulder pain today, you're going to obviously skip this part. You could side bend to the right. And then come back to center, and you can also fold forward. Now at this point, you might have had enough shoulder stretch. You could just release that and put your hands in front of you. Either way, take about 4 breaths. Make them cleansing, deep breaths. No rushing through these poses. Good. When you're ready, we will come back up. Move it all the way so you can unwind, go all the way to down dog or all fours, and come to your pigeon on the left leg. And you all know by now, vinyasas are always welcome if you want to make your practice stronger. And if you're ever not sure what a vinyasa is, I will happily do a quick 5-minute tutorial with you. I can call you on Zoom, or you can, or I'll send you a link and I can watch you do it and instruct you how to do it properly. So we're in pigeon, left leg forward, relax your forearms down. Final deep breath in pigeon. And then lift your torso, grab your back ankle with either hand. That's what you did on the first side. Good. Let go of your right leg behind you. So we're in that pigeon. Hoist yourself up so your hips are higher. You're standing on your knees, and now slide your right knee behind the left knee and sit back into your cow face pose. Left knee's on top. Arrange your feet so they're on either side of your hips. And then if you did your cow face arms, this time grab the buckled side with your right hand, right arm up, left arm under. And little detail, notice if your left wrist is twisted, you want that wrist flat against your back. So there's no rotation at all in your wrist. Give yourself more slack if you noticed you rotated. Maybe side bend to the left. Come back to center, maybe also fold forward with or without the bind. Final deep breath. Good, let's come back up out of that cow face. Release your hands down, and let's come through to a seated position. Sit on a bolster or block like me, or just sit flat on the floor, extending your legs out. Now step your left foot to the right inner thigh, or like a half lotus, cross your left ankle as close to the right groin area as you can. I'm doing it on the camera if you're not sure. So this is half lotus. Inhale, sweep the arms up unless you have a nice spine. Left hand grabs left foot behind you, and exhale, fold forward. So ignore me if you're not doing the bind, but if you want to try the bind and you just really want to get that one day, put the belt around your left foot. Feet with your right hand, hold the belt. Feed it to the left hand that wraps around your low back, and then fold in. And eventually you won't need the belt, right? Good. Inhale, come up, and do the same thing on the other side. If you're not doing the bind, you know what else you were doing. Otherwise, mini tutorial again. Right foot crosses over left upper thigh. Put the belt around the top of your foot. Just loop it. Left hand feeds the belt to the right hand wrapping behind your back, and then fold forward. These are all great shoulder openers. Good, let's come up. Release the left leg and let's lower flat onto the back. So lie down into your back now. Just pause or just move around in whatever fashion you would like. Good. And now for our bridge pose, step your feet on the mat, arms down by your sides, and press your hips up to the ceiling. On your next exhale, come down. Straighten out your legs for a moment. Breathe. We'll do a second round of your bridge pose. Same as before, or we'll do a somewhat harder variation. Step your feet on the mat. Either just lift up as before, or this time cross your arms across your chest. So we're not getting any help from our upper body. Now lift your hips up into bridge. And once you're here, try to lift one leg and then the opposite leg, like you're marching in place, or think like a roquette, right? You can do up to 20, that's about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're training so many little stabilizing muscles here. About 14, 15, keep going to 20 if you want. 17, 18, 19, and 20. Good job. Lower down, straighten your legs out again into Shavasana. And take a cleansing breath. All right, happy baby pose. Bring your feet up, grab them with your hands, both at the same time, or do one at a time, whichever makes you happy today. Good, bring it down from happy baby pose. And from here, you can either hover in a, just hold it, a nice lying down twist on each side for a few breaths, or those of you who really like shoulder stand, come up, bring your legs up, come into your upper back and elbows. You know, you can always put the block under your hips, but sometimes it's nice to set up a nice twist. The one, I'll guide you through one. Let's say you're laying flat. Take your left knee and draw it across the body. Look left and keep that left shoulder on the floor so it helps to extend that arm. If you're twisting, come up and switch sides. Those of you who would like to add on fish position, you could come out of shoulder stand and add fish now. The wonderful variation of fully supported fish, actually. Good. Whatever you're in, consider finishing that pose. Maybe bend your knees one more time into your chest and rock side to side. And then we'll have our final pose, Shavasana. Lying. If you happen to have a bolster, you can do it like me on the bolster or lie flat. Arms out, legs out, taking up lots of space here. Let's take 2, 3 cleansing breaths. And do that in a way that makes you feel peaceful and calm. And then even the breathing, we just let it rest so it flows at its natural pace. And as you lie here, let the eyes close even more thoroughly, releasing all the tiny little muscles in and around your eyes. Soften your forehead and your temples. Relax your jaw. Relax your whole head, your scalp now. Imagine you can relax your brain. Brain relaxed. Feel that stillness in your arms, your hands, your fingers. Feel it going down into your hips, your legs, and your feet. Deepen your next breath. Take a moment to just feel restored and relaxed. Arms reach overhead. Lots of prana, life force is flowing in our bodies now. Good. Release your arms down. Bend your knees in and roll to one side. Then come up and sit. Hands at the heart center. With an attitude of gratitude, bow your head. Namaste.